The Newport City Special Council meeting is called to order at 5:03 p.m. 3 minutes. Present at the meeting, Councilmember President John Wilson, Councilman Charbonneau, Councilman Vachon, Councilman Curtis, Comptroller, Clerk and Treasurer. Nobody else, staff members in the room. Okay. Item additions, deletions to the agenda. President Wilson,
Oh, no.
Councilman Charbonneau,
No?
Councilman Shawn,
No.
Councilman Curtis,
No, thanks.
Treasurer Johnson, Comptroller. Okay, let's go. Moving to interview of potential candidates for the city manager, potential executive session, 1 VSA section 313A3. May I please have a motion that the council enter into executive session to interview candidates for the position of city manager pursuant to 1 VSA section 313A3 and invite the comptroller programs director, the Leonine recruiter, and each candidate into the executive session for their respective interview.
So,
I have a motion. May I have a second?
I'll second.
A motion and a second. Comments? Any further discussion?
Comment?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry, I asked.
The only, I know we need a city manager, and I know we needed a city manager quite some time ago. The only issue I have is it seems like the council isn't following normal, customary procedures. And they're procedures that are logical and make sense. And that's where I think Jennifer had a problem, as she expressed last night, and I have a problem as well. And I think it was the meeting, I'd have to go back, was it the 8th?
November 7th,
No, December 18th, I think. You guys decided as a council to table the issue, to wait until the application deadline had passed. You had collected all of the applications, and then you were gonna interview them all in one swoop. And the application deadline posted on the city website is January 31st. And if you went on to VLCT and you got into the application packet, the response date was January 31st to get your stuff back into Mr. Parent. So here we are again, and it's like the third crack at the piñata of trying to interview candidates before the actual deadline is done, and you have all the applications, and you know what the playing field looks like before you start formulating opinions about who should be hired. And it just doesn't make sense to me, and I think it's wrong. Thanks.
Okay, thank you for that comment. Now we're bringing it back here.
One clarification, Madam Mayor, if I may.
Yes,
How many candidates do you have tonight?
I don't know yet, so can I just bring this back here for discussion? Because I do want to comment that there seems to be a misperception that there was an actual vote to actually have all of the candidates come in on one night. That was an opinion. It was tabled, that particular interview, but there was no vote.
No, I'm
But,
aware of that.
okay, I understand, but I read in the paper that there was a vote, and I know that, I believe that's going to be corrected. And there's been a conception about that. I do want to further say that it is a normal process to begin interviewing viable candidates when there has been a healthy response by the applicants for a position. And an application deadline, okay, isn't meant to communicate that you will actually have, that's the time that you must end and the only time that you can interview. So it's a normal process excuse me? It's a normal process to go forward when you have so many, because you need to bring some back for a second. So this is where it begins. And it doesn't mean that people who get their applications in on the 31st are going to be excluded, or that they may be excluded only because of their merit. So it is a normal process. Everybody does it differently. There's no violations going on here. But right now, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Ayes have it. Motion is carried, and we are in executive session.
Okay, can you repeat that for the camera?
Yes, we are out of executive session. No action was taken. Okay, next item on the agenda. Oh, I'm sorry, I take that back. Ready, set? Comments by members of the public. We're going to be opening the floor to public comment for each agenda item, which is already open. Members of the audience are reminded that members of the press are present, that these proceedings are being recorded for current and future broadcast over the city's cable television channel. Members of the audience are further reminded that Newport City Council meetings are for the purpose of allowing council members to conduct city business. City council meetings are the one time the city council discusses, deliberates, and decides upon city matters. City council meetings are held in public to promote transparency and accountability in government, but are distinct from public hearings or town meetings in that they are not meetings of the public. Members of the public shall be afforded a reasonable opportunity to express opinions about matters considered by the city council. To conduct orderly and efficient meetings, I kindly request the public's cooperation, and I thank you for waiting, on compliance with the published guidelines when participating in the meeting, so thank you. Okay, so when your name is called, you will have 2 minutes. Would you be so kind? Identify your name and your affiliation. Is Donna
She left.
gone?
She's gone, and mine's already been addressed.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, and I do thank everybody, because I think the input we've been getting is really helpful in us addressing issues, and that's what's supposed to happen. Okay, next, here we go.
Point of clarification, Mayor?
Okay.
How many candidates did you interview for the position?
We interviewed today 5.
Were any of them in person or were they by
Yes,
Zoom?
it was mixed. Okay, so. Here we go.
Are you gonna have more interviews or is this it?
Yes, no, this is just the beginning.
Okay.
Okay, so, new business. President Wilson,
No.
Councilman Charbonneau,
None.
Councilman Sean,
No, thank you.
Councilman Curtis,
No thanks.
Comptroller,
No, thank you.
Treasurer. Old business. President Wilson,
None.
Councilman Charbonneau,
None.
Councilman Sean,
No, thank you.
Councilman Curtis,
No thanks.
No, thank you.
Comptroller, Treasurer. Here comes the biggie. Can I have a motion to adjourn the special meeting, and you know you have to, 9:12 p.m.
I'll make that motion.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Ayes have it, and the motion is carried. And Jennifer, do you have 1 second?